What is the most overrated product you've purchased?
Overly expensive paint brushes from hobby companies designed to specifically paint equally expensive plastic models, miniatures. You're better off buying brushes from an art store or getting some of the top brands like Artis Opus or Winsor & Newton Series 7.
A garden hose that was unkinkable. I paid extra for the guaranteed kink-free feature. It kinked up like a motherfucker.
That's what you get for kink shaming.
I bought one of those oversized gag lighters thinking the flame was going to be proportionally big. It wasn't.
I'm 6 feet 5. There's a similar disappointing situation I have with girls.
Sears Best Canister Vacuum Cleaner. It was expensive, but lasted a few days over 1 year and quit, with only light household use. Sears wouldn't stand behind it. The cost of parts and repair was greater than the cost of the vacuum cleaner. No wonder Sears is in trouble.
That's crazy to me. It's a couple of decades back, but Sears used to be like Costco tier, where you knew a Sears Kenmore Craftsman product was at least average if not a little better. Parts and service were always available. I was friends with a guy who was in charge of the motor pool for an army unit, and he used to grump about having to get tools from the government suppliers. He would always say, "Why don't they let us just get stuff from Sears? You know they're never going anywhere and you can pop down to the store anytime and get a new wrench."
A few years before my grandma passed away, she bought a fridge from Sears. It died before the warranty was up. Their repairman said it would cost more to fix it than replace it. My grandma called Sears to set up a delivery time for the new fridge. The man accused my grandmother of trying to get free fridge. He made a widow in her 80s cry. We tried to help, but Sears blocked every number we called from. Eventually her kids bought her fridge from someplace else. This was years ago, but I still won't buy anything from Sears.
Sea monkeys. When I was little, I ordered some from the back of a comic book. I thought they would look like the picture, a nuclear family who would interact and talk to me. Unfortunately, they were turned out to be very non-sentient brine shrimp. It was very anticlimactic.
Yes, that was my first lesson in marketing.
A Fushigi ball skeptical smiley face.
The marketing for that was genius though. Contact juggling is a skill, but the ball has almost nothing to do with it. The ball just looks uniform on all parts, so you can't tell when it's rotating or rolling. It's like showing someone a performance of an expert card cheat and telling them that by buying the deck of cards, you too can do what he does. Technically not wrong, they just didn't tell you how much practice goes into it.
I had to Google link this since I had never heard of it. This looks like the type of poo I used to see in the mall being demonstrated, like a little plane you throw and it comes right back to you. Except the dude demonstrating has probably spent freaking years practicing.
I bought the Slap Chop Pure Garbage. It literally exploded upon use as directed. No flames or anything, but all the parts came apart and went flying.
You mean, Vince Offer lied to us? I can hardly believe it. He seemed so trustworthy. Did he lie about ShamWow, too?
Sounds like you didn't love his nuts.
I bought an unbreakable handle axe at Home Depot that used revolutionary new technology and it broke on the third swing. Replaced it with a hickory handle axe which I still use 22 years later.
In my experience, anything marketed as unbreakable is guaranteed to fall apart very quickly. I once bought something marketed as an unbreakable can opener. It is the only can opener I have ever known to break.
I used to dig a lot in a former job and I always preferred wooden handles to any other material. Nothing else feels right. Fiberglass or composites just vibrate too much.
Anyone remember those sticky cup strapless backless brass? The ads were all over Facebook and Instagram for a while. I eventually gave in and bought one. The whole point of them in the ads was like pull the string in the middle to give yourself instant mega cleavage, and you can wear it under strapless, backless clothes. Unfortunately, pulling your boobs together into ultra mega cleavage just means it makes the volume of your boobs flatter to pull them closer together, and since all it had was skin to stick to, and nothing but stickiness to hold it up, it was not very supportive. It was sticky enough for one proper use, but even still, the edges peeled away from my skin pretty quickly. There is a little cutout in the middle that's not sticky. That's where the nipple is meant to go. My nipples did not naturally or comfortably line up with those holes, so I had this incredibly sticky bra suction cup to my tit, and had to nearly rip my nipple off to get the bra off of me. After that, it is impossible to wash and store anywhere. The sticky surface becomes slick when wet, but goes back to sticky when it gets dry, but never as sticky as the first time. It has to air dry because towel fibers will get stuck on it, and it wouldn't survive a trip through the washer and dryer. It cannot be stored in a drawer, or touching any material because fibers will get stuck on it, and it cannot be stored face up with nothing covering it because dust will get stuck on it, thereby rendering it sticky until you wash it again, and air dry it again, and store it wrong again, rinse and repeat until you throw it in the garbage.
OMG, I once went to a wedding in midsummer. Was wearing a great top but needed some covering of the nips. I used one of those stick-on bras. I started to sweat and I could feel the cups letting go. Second I stood up they fell and landed in the grass in front of me.
Oh God, I wore them once for an event and I threw those bitches away immediately after. It was a huge waste of money. I would have been better off just not wearing any kind of bra.
A 2020 planner.
Bought the SK2 Essence that always gets raved about in skincare communities. Used it at the same time as tretinoin and thought it was helping in the process of clearing my skin. Stopped using it and turns out, it was just the tret. There was no difference in my skin after I stopped using it. The stuff is $100 a bottle.
Victoria's Secret panties, and the quality has gone downhill immensely.
I still have some of theirs from years ago when the quality was so high. The elastic never broke down, the fabric wasn't flimsy, they didn't ride up or sag. And then they started making lousy underwear that falls apart in the washing machine. If they could just go back to making quality cotton bikinis again, I would come back as a customer. But I don't see it happening.
I have a whole set of panties from H&M from 10 years ago with less holes than the year or two old VS ones. And they aren't even that cute.
Coach handbag. The strap broke after a few months and Coach refused to fix it after I brought it back and the receipt to the store where I had purchased it. I bought an inexpensive replacement strap that lasted longer. After less than a year, there was evident wear at the seams. I have not purchased anything from Coach again.
Coach has absolutely degraded its own brand. Not what it once was.
$400 Buffy brand eucalyptus comforter. Supposed to be fluffy and not hot. Totally too hot.
How were its vampire slaying abilities?
Most of my academic books. All the PDFs are available online.
Cough cough. An NBSP. libgen.rs. An NBSP. Cough cough.
I so regret buying thousands and thousands of dollars worth of books in college. Really wish I'd found PDFs. There were so many that barely got used. Maybe 1 or 2 lessons and they're just dust collectors from then on. What a waste of money.
Arsh Age. I remember it being marketed as Sandbox MMO with realistic player-driven economy. There was a pack that let you into alpha, a pack that let you into beta, and a pack that let you into few days of early access. All of the packs contained nothing but some cosmetic items irrelevant to the economy. The alpha was good, the beta was good, but with the final release, they fired up the cash store with such extreme pay to win.
To be fair, PTW does strike me as a realistic player-driven economy. They just neglected to say it would be the IRL economy.
Reddit Premium.
Yeah, you don't even get an ad-free experience from it. I see covert advertisements on popular subs all the time. Edit. Y'all don't seem to get it. It's not things that can be blocked by using poo like Apollo or uBlock Organ. It's ads posted by regular Reddit accounts disguised as regular posts. Visit our Hail Corporate for more.
I remember when Reddit didn't have ads. Old Reddit was much better.
I bought a platform bed on the recommendation of the Wirecutter. They had this whole big spiel about how they test poo, this is the best affordable option, blah blah blah. I had to return the first one I bought because it came scratched up. The second one is just a plain, cheap platform bed. I don't think there's anything about it different from what I could have gotten from just hunting down the cheapest version of the product. Edit, spiel, you pedants, less than 3U.
Wirecutter went straight to crap around the time they became an NYT publication. Now the majority of their recommendations seem to be the what's the most expensive option with an affiliate link. One of their recent lists of gifts for a college grad included a $200 wooden bowl.
Please, no one say a Roomba. I really want a Roomba.
As long as you don't expect it to get absolutely everything, and treat it more like a machine that lengthens the amount of time between you vacuuming or sweeping, then it's a good purchase. Also, you need to keep a tidy floor so it doesn't get caught on anything. Super easy to clean and maintain though.
I have the old Roomba, the dumb ones, and a new, smart one. It's definitely a QOL improvement. Expect them to last 3 years or so. The old one, I replaced the rubber brush rollers, the spinning brush thing and a wheel. They definitely need maintenance. The new one, which empties itself, is really good. Seems to be a company that actively learns and improves. You will need to maintain them though.
Shake weight tears of joy.
But on the plus side, your jerking off abilities went up tenfold.
Raycon earbuds. The left one has become noticeably quieter than the right one after roughly 8 months of use. They really aren't that much cheaper, they aren't great sound quality, just average overall, and they didn't last. Edit, not to be cliché but holy poo, this blew up, thanks for the awards kind strangers.
I hated seeing all the paid ads by YouTubers for them because I knew straight away as they were saying how amazing they are that they would throw them in the dumpster and be back wearing their AirPods as soon as they're done filming that junk.
I had a pair of earbuds like this and I was ready to write a letter to complain until I took a close look and took the rubber parts off. Found a peg of earwax blocking one of the rubber pieces. Yes, I clean my ears and earbuds better now.
A waterbed. It was unsettling.
Are those still around? My parents got one during the craze in the 80s. When I was like 10, I needed a new bed and I begged them to get a waterbed. It was actually cheaper than traditional box springs plus headboard and poo. So I had a waterbed from like 10 to 15 years old. I can't remember why I got rid of it, but it was still in good shape. They don't really work well for anything other than sleeping. I used to sit on the edge to play video games and it effing sucked. But I really liked sleeping on a waterbed. You could make it like 90 degrees in the middle of winter and sleep with the windows open. In hindsight, the electric bill may have played some small part in getting rid of it.
I always thought it was scary. As a kid, I thought, if you pop it and it breaks, and you're asleep, won't you just drown?
Earwax candles. After laying on the floor like an idiot with a flaming burning candle in my ear, I took a minute to actually think about the process. Fool's gold.
P-Hub Premium. I'm not joking. P-Hub Premium.
WTF, just Google big booby like 50 billion results.
I have a bachelor's in philosophy.
Think about it.
I raise you to masters in philosophy and no PhD.
So I live in the UK, and Gatorade isn't really much of a thing here. It was even less of a thing a few years ago. We do have a very similar looking drink called Powerade. The only shop I knew that sold Gatorade at the time of this story was a big Tesco. And it was like 3 times the price of Powerade, solely because it's Gatorade and it's from the States. I casually say to my mates one day, "Man, I wanna try Gatorade, but it's so expensive," and they're all like, "OMG, you haven't tried Gatorade? Mate, it is so sick, you gotta try it at least once." This got my hyped, so I thought, F it, I'll treat myself. I buy it, and take a swig. This poo is exactly the same as Powerade. I just paid like £3.50 for essentially a Powerade I could have got for £1. I confronted my mates about it and they were just like, "Well, it is a little different. Bitch, that is not how you described it to me the other day." I still think about that effing Gatorade, and this was like 4/5 of a year ago.
A Gucci bag. $3,000 later, my life was exactly the same, but now I had to worry about being a target for getting robbed.
Beats by Dre. I just don't understand how they're worth the money.
The name makes them expensive.
Try Beats by Dave. They are the same product, but Dave, while he is a pretty decent guy, he is not famous enough to attract a premium on his product endorsements.
Hulu. If I'm paying you, I don't want to be interrupted in the middle of a show. Put your ads at the beginning and at the end.
Or asterisk gasp asterisk no ads at all if I'm throwing you the dough.
Fidget spinner. Before it was a kid's toy. Bought one to help me not pick at my cuticles. Then after about 2 months and they got big, I just ended up looking like an idiot manchild playing with a kid's toy.
My doctorate in physical therapy. 7 years and $90K later, I'm a glorified personal trainer for $35 per hour.
$35 an hour isn't bad money, assuming you have constant work. But I do feel for those student loans.
It's one of the worst return on investments for healthcare degrees on the market. A doctorate degree paying $75,000 a year is garbage considering the 7 years of lost income. Pa have only 6 years and make $100K as a new grad and $130K with 5 years experience. Farm D is $100 to $150K. NP is 110K plus. That and working for crazy productivity standards and compassion fatigue makes it a raw deal. Don't go into healthcare, kids.
Jeffree Star's liquid lipstick. It dried the poo out of my lips and felt hella uncomfortable. I only wore it once. It was so hyped up a couple years ago. Also, Tarte eyeshadow palettes are acceptable for the price. I bought a couple and was like, I just buy ColourPop now. Also, any foundation feels bad on my skin. I have spent hundreds on so many different foundations. Beauty filters on YouTube need to stop. I don't wear foundation now. The caked-on makeup just isn't necessary for 90% of people, and is a way to sell way too much makeup by making you feel bad about how your skin looks, with texture etc.
90% of video game cosmetics. Edit. I really did not expect this simple comment to blow up this much less the silver, helpful, and hugs. Thanks very much for the karma.
Yeah, my wife summed up the division when I was into it big time. It's like Barbie doll dress up with some gunfights. Don't forget to match your beanie, coat, and machine gun before you go save NYC.
Bring back earnable cosmetics.
Dyson fan. Piece of plastic with holes in it with a regular fan in the bottom of it blowing air through the holes. $400 for something that barely blows air and can rotate. Not worth it at all. My $25 fan from Walmart works better.
Better Than Sex mascara is easily some of the worst mascara on the market, and almost everyone who knows makeup will tell you the same thing.
Cloth diapers. My god, some of these parents have to stop raving about how amazing cloth diapers are. They are at best an okay alternative to disposable diapers. Things I was told about cloth diapers. Less blowouts, less rashes, better for the environment, cheaper. Most of these just depend on your child. And honestly, I found most of these false. Things they don't tell you. Your house will smell like poo. You will constantly be doing laundry. When you're out of the house, you'll be carrying around a dirty diaper. If the baby hates being wet, you'll constantly be changing them. Daycares don't take them. Babysitters hate them. Diaper changes take way longer. More power to any parent who uses. Like, seriously, God bless you. But they have some major downsides, and I'll happily take Pampers over cloth.
My sister swears by cloth diapers, and she's put 2 kids through them, so she's definitely had the full experience. All power to her, but I can barely stay on top of washing dishes, much less keeping my laundry room from becoming a biohazard. So I'll spend $40 or so a month to keep my son's butt clean and my sanity more or less intact.
My pillow. It's the worst pillow I've ever used. It is a cotton bag of these foam Tetris-type blocks. There are 3 levels of firmness based on how many blocks the pillow has. I ordered the firmest level and the pillow was like 1/3 full. It was a totally useless pillow. The return process requires an RMA and they take 20% or something for restocking. So obviously that's their business plan: sell a cheap overpriced product, heavy advertising, make it hard to return so most people don't bother, and charge a restocking fee even if they do return it.
I knew as soon as I saw the commercial that it was total horsepoo. They show someone fluffing up the pillow and then say that it'll just keep that shape. Like, how effing magic? How does the pillow tell the difference between my hands squishing it and my head rolling around when I'm asleep? Is my pillow-chan watching over me as I sleep?
Nespresso coffee machines. UGG. Capsules sold in coffee boutiques.
Obligatory RF Nestle.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.